Welcome to the Budget Mom YouTube channel. I'm Kamika Love from thebudgetmom.com, and today we're going to be going over the Budget by Paycheck box set. So recently, the Budget by Paycheck box set went on sale for 50% off, and I've been getting a ton of questions to go over more in detail what this box set is. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, before we jump into the whole entire detail of the box set, there are a couple of different things that I want to mention. Now, one of the number one comments that I get when I show my budgeting method or using the Budget by Paycheck box sets, the number one comment I get is, Miko, that seems like too much work. That's overwhelming. That's time consuming. Well, here's the truth. I spend about 10 to 15 minutes every day working on my budget. Why do I do this? It's because I establish a routine around my finances. One, not to only make my finances more efficient, but to ensure that I relieve anxiety and stress around my money because I make the conscious effort to check in with my budget every single day. Does that mean it has to be complicated work? No, it might mean just looking at, say, my checking account and seeing what's pulled out of my checking account or tracking my spending from the day before. So they're very minor tasks. That said, I've been using the Budget by Paycheck box set for more than 6 years. And in that time, I've really created a system that's very efficient. So anytime you move into a new budgeting method or new way of managing your finances, the upfront work is always a little bit more. And it's gonna take a little bit, and for me, it took about 2 to 3 months to really get into this swing of things with my budget using the Budget by Paycheck method. But once you do that upfront work through that transitional period, the rest can be as efficient as you make it. Now, also a thing to mention with what is the Budget by Paycheck method and the box set. Essentially, I created the Budget by Paycheck method in the box set and the workbook to really lay the strong foundation I believe anyone should have in their lives when it comes to creating a successful budget. But here's what makes this method in the box set and the workbook very unique. I give you the resources and the guidance and the knowledge to lay those really strong foundations in your life. The rest is up to you. You build on top of that foundation so you can customize a budgeting plan and method that works for you in your real life. So strong foundation never changes, but you get to customize a budgeting plan for you, made by you. And I'll say that again, the most successful budgets are the budgets that are created by you, for you. This is the number one reason why I don't suggest that you copy, say, someone else's budget. You might see a template or an example online and say, that sounds good. That looks really organized. That looks good. You bring it into your life and then it doesn't work. That budget was not created by you for you. It was created for somebody else. So it's really up to you to customize this method to whatever works for you in your personal circumstance and situation. The last thing that I want to mention is the Budget by Paycheck method is all about effectiveness over efficiency. Now, of course, when you can incorporate both of those things, both effectiveness and efficiency, into your budgeting routine and lives, yes, it gets so much easier and a lot better. But when you're just starting out with the budgeting method, you should always make effectiveness your priority. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure that you're doing all of the right things well, not all of the wrong things well. So a lot of people will give up effectiveness, meaning that their budget actually works for them, to replace it with something that makes it really simple, makes it really efficient. But with our budgets, we're not looking for simple. We're looking for something that works. And sometimes that means that we have to put in a little bit of the extra work and really focus on the effectiveness and how well our budget is working in our lives. So it's going to seem like a lot of work and a lot of information, but that's because I'm showing you from a place of someone who's been doing this for many, many, many years. I have a lot of readers who start out using the box set and only use the first couple of pages through the first couple months of that transitional period, and then they start using the other pages as they gradually go along. That's how it's meant to be used. It's not meant to do everything all at once. You tackle each step at a time until you feel comfortable and are successful with that step before moving on to the next. So let's dive into the Budget by Paycheck box set and exactly what this thing is. So now you're probably used to seeing the Budget by Paycheck Workbook. This was our full-size workbook that we have launched many years. So you're used to seeing the entire Budget by Paycheck method all in one book like this. And this is a fairly large, this is a workbook. It's filled with a whole year's worth of worksheets to tackle your finances. This last year, we wanted to make the Budget by Paycheck workbook more portable. This is when we introduced this year the Budget by Paycheck box set. Now I have to lay it down on the side so you can see it. So we took the full-size workbook that you're used to seeing and we converted it into individual monthly booklets that look like this. It has, the box set has all of the same exact worksheets and information as the full-size workbook. It's just broken down into easy, more portable type of booklets. Now, if I take one of these out, I want to show you the size difference. So as you can see, this is the full-size workbook. This is a booklet from the box set. They are much skinnier, obviously, because you're dealing only with 1 month, and they're a lot more portable, something you can just stick in your purse if you want to bring your budget on the go. I know a lot of people like to bring their budgets when they go on road trips or they travel, so we decided that the box set would be easier for portability. So what we're going to do today, you're actually looking at my Budget by Paycheck box set that I use in my real life. So we're going to be looking at what's included in the box set and as well as how I use mine. The first booklet in the box set is the instructions and yearly spending overview worksheet. So it's a trifold, so if you open it up, you're going to get all of the different instructions on how to use the Budget by Paycheck method. It walks you through all of the different worksheets. Now, if you're the type of person that likes to see things visually, if you order a Budget by Paycheck box set, you get video tutorials on how to fill out every single page inside of the Budget by Paycheck workbook or box set. They're the same pages. So if you order the box set, make sure you check your email shortly after ordering because you'll get a link to access that private website. But you also have written instructions here. Now inside the instructions and yearly trackers, you have your goal worksheet to break up your goals from short, medium, and long-term goals for however long. It could be for the year, it could be for 5 years out. It's just a place for you to dump your goals. Your membership and subscription worksheet. This is basically all of your quarterly or yearly subscriptions that you have come out, but they're not coming out every single month. You can write a date and when it's due, what it is, what the annual cost is, and if you want to break that cost down into a monthly cost and save a little bit every month for that expense, you can do that using the membership and subscription worksheet. Now, these are yearly savings goals trackers. You can track up to 8 different savings goals, as well as you also have where you can write down the beginning balance, any addition or any spending out of that savings goals, and then an ending balance. And you can do that for every single month for each one of the 8 goals. And then you also have a visual chart to track your savings goals. So these are sinking funds. These have to do with sinking funds. If you want to learn more about sinking funds, I'll go ahead and put a link in the description of this video on how to do that. And I'll also link the video on sinking funds here right now. But you do have a tracker for that. You also have a yearly spending overview tracker. So these are your trackers inside of the yearly booklet. You also have a bill tracker where you can check off paying your bills every single month for the entire year. So this is your yearly trackers in this first box set. or inside this first booklet. Now let's look at how to use these, how I use these. So this is my January booklet, and as you can see, I have it really filled out because I use this in my real life. So you can do a full view of your monthly finances. We call this the budget calendar. You can write down all of your bills, all of your paychecks, what paychecks you want to pay with each bill on your calendar, holidays, events, anything you are spending money on for that particular month goes down on your monthly bill calendar. So that's the first worksheet. You also have notes pages inside of each booklet. And then you get into the actual budget creation. Now this is the paycheck bill tracker. And this is where you're going to write out a budget for each paycheck that you receive. The budget by paycheck method is just that. You are budgeting your money every single time you get paid. Now, like I said, you can customize this. I have some couples that use this that combine paychecks. So if the husband, for instance, go back to my calendar here, if the husband is getting paid every single Friday and the wife is getting paid every other Friday, well then you could combine paychecks and just do 2 budgets every single month, if that works easier for you in your life. I used to get paid on the 5th and the 20th of every month. I would create a budget for each one of those paychecks. I now get paid on the 1st of every month. It's just 1 paycheck, 1 budget every single month. So you actually get 5 different paycheck bill trackers, so 5 budgets inside of each month. And we did that because we know some people get paid multiple times a month. You also get the cash envelope breakdown, and this is if you are using the cash envelopes. Now, you don't have to use cash envelopes to use this method. So what you could do is where it says here envelopes, that's your variable spending. That's what you're going to write down all of your spending outside of your fixed expenses. And you don't have to use envelopes, but if you do, there is a cash envelope breakdown. Now my budget by paycheck method really recommends using cash and spending cash, especially if you are just starting out on your budgeting journey, to really get a feel and better control around your spending. So the cash envelope breakdown just allows you to break down all of your cash envelopes so you know what bill denominations to pull out to stuff your cash envelopes. Now you also get, so I'm going to get through the rest of these 5 budgets here. Now you might be asking, Miko, what if you only get paid once a month and you have all these extra budget worksheets and you're not going to use all of them? And I'll be showing you here shortly. I create sometimes rough drafts of my budget. So I might use 2 or 3 of these before I finalize and write down my finalized budget. It's me planning ahead and just working through my budget until I get to a budget that I know will work for me successfully for that tracking period or that pay period. You can also use these for vacation budgets. If you're wanting to budget for a vacation, you can use one of these extra paycheck bill trackers if you're not utilizing all of them. So you can use these from maybe a birthday budget, an Easter budget, whatever type of budget you have, plenty in there. The next thing is your expense trackers. Now you get 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get 6 expense trackers because this is a spread. So this is essentially one expense tracker, which is something different from the workbook. If you look in the Budget by Paycheck Workbook full size, this is all on one page, but because you're dealing with a much smaller scale of book, we put it on a spread. So this is one tracker, this is one tracker here, and so on. So you get 6 expense trackers for that. All right, the next thing that you have is your debt payment plan worksheet. Now this is to go over to track your debt progress every single month. I don't have debt, so I cross that out. And we're also looking, you also have a monthly net worth tracker here. Now the Where Did My Money Go worksheets is all about analyzing your spending and making sure that your spending is aligning with your financial goals. This is where you can track your budget categories and where your dollars went compared to your budget categories. So for instance, I can see that in January, I spent 13% on food. 13% of my income went towards food, and so on, and I can do that for each one of my budget categories. Monthly debt and savings breakdown, this is where you can track not only how much debt or money that you saved, but what specifically are you throwing your money at? And that's really important because you want to make sure that your spending is aligning with your financial goals. The next is your monthly spending comparison. How did your spending go this month compared to this last month? And that's really important to notice trends and short-term goals that you have set for yourself from month to month. Are you reaching these goals, or are there any trends that you're seeing from month to month that you know you need to address? Now, in the back of the booklet, you get a cash teller slip. Now, this goes with your cash envelopes. You can fill this out, bring it to the teller when you're pulling out cash for your envelopes. That's essentially what makes up the entire booklet for 1 month. Now, let's get into a little bit of how I use these more efficiently in my life. So when I'm creating my budget like this, the great thing is, I'm just gonna pull out February. The great thing is if I'm filling out my budget, I can set these side by side. So as I'm filling out my new budget, I can look at it and say, okay, what did I do last month? So in the workbook, you have to flip pages to get to your previous budgets. With these, you can lay them side by side. So that helps me a lot. I'll pull out the previous month's booklet and have that out as reference as I create my new budget for the new month. And I do the same thing with my calendars, with my budget calendars. So I'll have February out as I'm creating March. And you can see, if I open all these up, I would just have March out as I'm looking at February and making sure that I'm not missing anything that I need to remember to include in my budget. So that's one of the things that I do. Also, another thing that's really helpful is you can have these out side by side when you are filling out the Where Did My Money Go worksheets. Now, you might be looking at this and saying, looking at all these colors and all these markings and everything written down, you might say, oh my gosh, this is so much. But like I said, once you know the foundational steps and process, this to me takes 10 minutes. And the reason it does is because I fill out these worksheets a little at a time. I don't sit down and just fill this whole thing out. I do it throughout the month as I gain more knowledge around what's happening with my finances. So for instance, I know when I'm working on the monthly spending comparison, I already have February numbers, so I can write those down. And then I can tackle March after that month, this current month is over. So being able to put these side by side is really, really helpful. So outside of just the booklets, you also get 2 sheets of little budget stickers, and you get these for free inside of each Budget by Paycheck box set. And you can use these. I like to use these on my budget calendars. You can see I use the sticky hearts here for that. Or you can use it, say, if you want to use these as a reference on your Budget by Paycheck worksheet, you can do that. Your bill tracker, you can do that. So these are really to use anywhere you want inside of the box, inside of the booklets. So I know that was kind of a speedy walkthrough of the Budget by Paycheck box set. If you want to get a better feel on how to use these pages and how I use these pages in more detail, make sure you check out our budget recaps here on YouTube. They're really going to show how to use the worksheets, and I'll make sure to link one of our last ones here in the video. Also, right now we are having the biggest discount ever on the Budget by Paycheck box sets. You can get these for 50% off with the code SPRINGFUN at checkout. I'll make sure to link that sale right down below in the description box of this video. Now, I have found so much clarity, confidence, and stability around my finances by using the Budget by Paycheck method. It's something that I teach and preach, and it's very much what I love here at the Budget Mom. It's the #1 reason I created this product and what's helped me pay off over $80,000 worth of debt. It's just been the budgeting tool that I live by and stand by and absolutely believe in. So if you're interested in the Budget by Paycheck box set, I hope that was enough of a little bit of a breakdown of what this product is. If you found this video helpful, please like it and don't forget to subscribe. I've been using the Budget by Paycheck box set There was something I was going to mention.